6:31, so we can call a monthly Public Works and Facilities meeting to order. We have a roll call, and I see we are present with all present except for Supervisor Meadows. I don't see him, and I don't know if he's coming or not, so we can wait. We have one youth in governance, and your second youth in governance. Thank you both.
This is Alexander, and it's Timothy, and Andrew is excused.
Do we have a third?
Well, Timothy technically is the third.
Yeah, I see. Cool.
He's auditing the youth and governance program, we'll call it.
This is usually an action-packed committee, except probably not for tonight. It's just a light agenda, so we'll go through it. We have a few interesting things, though. Our next order of business is citizens' comments. If there's any citizen in the room that would like to make a comment, you have 5 minutes to do so. Seeing none, citizens' comments are closed. Approval of minutes from previous meetings.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion approved by Supervisor Belsky, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Seeing none. Minutes are approved. Chairman, committee, members, supervisor, youth and government comments. I have no comments at this time. I may have some going in later, but Supervisor Belsky.
I just want to say to everybody that you do amazing, amazing reports. Cannot thank you enough for all of the information. I wish other committees did reports such as yours, and thank you for your leadership, Shelley. And just want to say that while I was not here in past meetings, I did watch you, and it's very frustrating that when I would raise my hand, nobody would call it.
Oh, because you were remote.
Oh, so thank you.
Any other committee members have comments you'd like to make? Youth and governance, any comments you'd like to maybe bring forward? Very well. Then I believe the first item on our agenda is for Golf Division, Mr. Jim Wallace.
Thank you, Chair Gray. First, we're seeking this committee's approval to reinstate our agreement with the UW Parkside Men's and Women's Golf Program. And I believe I provided that as part of your packet. If not, I do have copies here that I can pass around. This is essentially the same agreement that we had last year with them, where they come pay us $95 for each player on their roster. We input their rosters into the computer, and their players are able to access our golf facilities during their golf season. So if you don't need one, you can pass them down. So it worked out really well last year, established a good relationship with the university's golf team that allows them to utilize our facilities. They also have agreements at a few other facilities, so they don't strictly use our facilities. There are restrictions on when they can play, and they're good players. They take good care of the course, so worked out really well last year. We'd like to do that again, provided this committee approves.
So what we do is we can have a motion to accept it. Then we'll have a discussion about the particular proposal. So motion to approve. Motion approved by Supervisor Fiamma.
I'll second.
Second by Supervisor
Franco.
Discussion. Just a few questions. Last year, how many players did we have enrolled in this? Do we know?
I believe they had 14 rostered between the men's and women's golf programs.
So is it your understanding this year will probably be somewhere in that neighborhood, less than 20?
Correct. Yes, for sure.
And you were mentioning about tee times and so forth. One of the things I would be aware of would be league play that goes into the fall, that it wouldn't conflict with league play.
Correct.
Give us some details on how this is scheduled, if you would.
I believe they are between 9 a.m. and 2 or 3 p.m. on weekdays. And Wednesday, they can't play pets because that's a really busy league day at pets. So it's all outlined in the agreement too. We do have very specific windows where they can and can't play. I believe it's weekends after 1 or 2 p.m. Where they're allowed to play only after those times, so they're not displacing prime time revenue. So it worked out really well last year. The kids followed along great, so it worked out really well.
So this would be the second year of it?
Correct.
Those are my questions for the time being. Other committee members, comments, questions, Supervisor?
Does this have to go before the full board?
It did not last year. Corporate
Okay.
Council, we sent it to them, and they said as long as this, because it's essentially just selling them
Right.
junior memberships.
Okay, just because there's no resolution, so I just want to make sure we're doing
Right.
it correctly. Okay.
Right.
Other
So
than
this is
that,
somewhat analogous then for housekeeping as to setting of the golf fees and rates. We do that internally. and we do
Correct.
Not involve the entire country.
Correct. Essentially, we're just establishing the rate for these golf teams to use our facilities. That's-
Good point. Anyone else? Question, comments on this particular item? Youth and governance, anything about the proposal? Seeing no further questions, then let's take a vote. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, passes unanimously. Thank you for your report. Carry on with your division report.
All right, golf rounds are really good. We had our highest July that we've had since we've been recording. About 21,500 rounds across the golf course. That did not break it by much, maybe 500 or 600 rounds. We typically look for around 20,000 rounds per month in June, July, August. So July was really, really good. We caught up about 1,850 rounds behind our record pace of last year. So things are great on that front. Staffing is really good. We're going to lose a bunch here in the next couple of weeks. Really, there's only just for people going back to school, but we've left open the grounds positions and food and beverage positions. Golf shops are pretty well staffed. And even grounds, they'll be fine, but this is the time of year we do look to maybe hire people that we feel strongly are going to come back next year, and we can start to build their training moving into next season. So that's all really, really good. I finally did hear back on the plans for the storage building at Brightdale, so that is moving along. I sent that to Shelley, and she gave me some really good stuff. Her background's a lot better in that stuff than mine. I handle the outside stuff. So she gave me some really good feedback on those plans. So we're kind of bouncing those back and forth before we finalize those bid documents. That's for the storage building at Brightdale. We have all the specs, and we have a pre-bid next week on the golf cart outdoor storage, that the small area we're going to pave behind the Brightdale clubhouse. So that pre-bid meeting's next week, and hopefully we can get that project completed in October. Tree cleanup coming along really well. Still some stuff on the blue course, and still a few spots in heavily wooded areas, but overall it's coming along really, really well. If someone didn't know we had a storm, they might not know going out there. We're finally at that point where if you didn't know something significant happened out there in May, you might not. You'd see some stuff in the woods and just think maybe some trees fell, but you wouldn't think we lost 150 trees in one event. So that's going really, really well.
Anything else?
No, I'll happily field any questions, anyone has.
Questions or comments from the committee for Mr. Wallace about golf? Just a couple things. So we did make up a significant amount of rounds. Last time I checked with you, I think we're about 3,000 rounds.
Correct.
Now, last year was a record year, of course, so, it's hard to compare to a record year to always, maintain that thing. Now we're 1,850, so really quite good as far as that's concerned. It says the stone steps on the north side of the Petrifying Springs Clubhouse are currently being repaired. That will be done when?
He was gonna order the stones for the landing as of a week and a half ago. I'll be there tomorrow and I'll double check to see if he's out there, but the steps are done. It's just that the landing was kind of damaged too, so we decided to go ahead and replace that as well. So he needed to order those steps. That's going really well.
The other thing that comes to mind is the first tee. As you come out of the clubhouse, there's a retaining wall.
Yep.
And there's a brick retaining wall, and it appears as though the southern aspect has kind of been deteriorated over a period of years. Do we have a schedule or a plan to go ahead and rehabilitate that?
We do not, but as soon as we get the steps done, that contractor's gonna go take a look at that
Right.
and see. And I don't know that we want to do a major project there until we have a master plan for the golf course. Sure. We may want to move around that first tee and do some things like that. So at least to have it assessed to make sure that it's not going to, we're not going to have any kind of catastrophic failure or anything like that. So we'll get that assessed.
Most of your, I shouldn't say most, but a good portion of your work is, of course, are seasonal due to the nature of the
Correct.
golf business. How is it looking for you with FTEs coming out of this golf season going into next? Are you fully staffed up with your FTEs?
Yes, we have 10 full-time spots, including me, and those are all filled.
And then looking to our crystal ball, although you can't predict for sure, would you estimate that we'll have those people back for next year? We're not looking at transfers, retirements.
No, I estimate all of them. Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else for Mr. Wallace? If not, then we thank you for your report and we'll speak again next month. Parks Division, Mr. Moore, who's handling Mr.
He's on vacation, so he's returning tomorrow. The first item is the resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an underground telecommunication easement with the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources to support upgrades at Silver Lake County Park. This easement will allow us to put fiber optic down on the beach area itself, feeding into the concession and our feed booths. But to be able to connect it to the existing, we have to go through 2 DNR parcels. So it's taken us some time to get this approved on their side, so we are hoping we can get it approved on ours and we can get the fiber installed.
So if I understand this resolution, it will benefit Kenosha County. It'll also benefit the vendor who does business with Kenosha County in terms of their business transactions as well.
And it will benefit our feed booth down at Silver Lake Park.
Right, okay. That's good. Any questions on this particular resolution as it's presented here? Then let's have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
First by
Second.
Supervisor Decker, second by Supervisor Belsky. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Passes unanimously. Let's have youth and governance. Do you have a vote as well? You get to say aye or nay.
Aye.
Very well, thank you for your vote. Motion passes. Carry on, Director Billingsley.
He also asked that he put together the Parks Public-Private Partnerships report, which he has attached. This is for those partnerships in which we share revenue. So you will not see Pringle Nature Center, you will not see Kemper Center Inc. So he did put in, some of the information, and, between Chris and I, we're hoping we can answer your questions.
This is something that I had requested of Mr. Moore, just to bring the entire committee up to speed on what we have going with the private sector that we think is beneficial. To this point, has been beneficial to Kenosha County. And I want everyone on this committee to have review of it, and I'll provide copies as well for our colleagues at the county board. Because as time goes along, there are certain things that we do pretty well as a county government, and there are certain things private industry can do more effectively, perhaps better than we can just through their expertise. So if we can keep this type of thing going, I think it's beneficial. But again, we should all be on the same page. We should all be aware of what we have, how these contracts are constructed, income, revenue, that whole thing. So that is the rationale why I asked for this particular item. So we can review that. Thank you for providing. Anything else about the?
No, we had no, never mind. Okay.
So we have the partnership report to review, and now we're going to look at the division report. You can handle that for Mr. Moore.
He doesn't have any changes for what we have supplied. The Kemper Center Chapel repairs is in the process of being designed. The facility condition assessment is also in the process. So we're hoping those to be done around September. Shoreland repair, we are in discussions with Red Barn Design and Engineering, which is a consultant that the city used. Was booked up with the city, but now that the city is pretty well completed, he is willing to take a look at our plans and see if he can come up with some alternatives. And other than that, Pike River Phase 3 is ongoing, and they are entering the final stages, and then they'll move on to the bridge and the trail network.
And again, perhaps Mr. Moore has more detail than we have immediately be able to you. But do we have a timeline for the 2 studies on Kemper when they expect to be completed?
I believe it's September, but I can double check and have them tell how that's different.
Insight, in my view, is going pretty slow on this.
So by September or end of September?
He told me September. I'll double check. I can double check if it's early or late.
Go ahead.
My concern with that is this has been kind of prolonged and I've had the discussion with Wyatt. Because then how long is it gonna go out for bid? When are we gonna actually start the work? We want it done before spring. Because that's when people start, looking.
Relay that information.
Thank you. Oh, one other thing on Kemper, the wall, that got crashed into by the car. My understanding is it had to go out to bid because it was over 35,000. So when do you expect to have that bid back?
Let me check on that one. I didn't touch base with them on that.
All right, thank you.
Just looking to see if my next question is answered here already. So for the shoreline repair, we're talking about Red Barn taking a look at doing this. And we have option 1 and option 2 that are estimates. These are preliminary, but we don't know when Red Barn will have more concrete data. Do we have a timeline on that?
We have some information that we have to still get from them. So that in the budget, we are putting some money for some additional field work for what we believe is foundry stand in the area of Kemper. With some foundry stand, we have to designate what area that is because we want to limit the excavation that's going on. So we do have some, I think, additional funds in design for next year with a placeholder for construction in 2027.
Gotta wait for
Are
the
you
CIP
ready?
vision.
I was just gonna ask, are we planning on having it in the CIP, the actual construction? Okay,
Yes,
that's
so
fine.
you'll see it in,
September.
yeah, but yeah, right now, mind you, it's subject to change, but there's 140 grand at 26 for some of the design and extra field study, and then the 15 million as a placeholder in 27 for the actual redesign. Now, that could be phased, that could be 1 year, could be more, could be less, we don't know.
So it's going to be the 2027 budget.
For
For
construction, at least, yeah,
Okay,
that would be the earliest, at least starting.
okay.
Because we're still doing our homework on it.
Mhm.
Perfect. And we're saying the possibility of foundry sand would be undesirable, it'd be detrimental, correct?
It could increase the cost, but we're hoping that just his cross section would slightly change so that we can basically leave it in place and build out, is the option. The city ran into it as well, so we're kind of following the city's cross section if it comes to that. So our hope is we can just leave it in place.
The only thing that might be, a deterrent is where we have the old pier, because that was a dumping site. But the rest of it, they should be able to use the existing foundation probably.
Right, and that's kind of what his idea is, to use some of the existing rocks that are there and build it on it, which is kind of what the city did in Southport.
So you can still see the light. Yeah.
Yes.
So just to bring us all up to speed, the original estimate we had for Kemper, shoreline, Anderson shoreline came in way out.
34 million.
Way out of the ballpark, 34 million, I think, Supervisor Decker said. And it's just an unreasonable sum for such a relatively short stretch. So in conversation with city and other people who are more knowledgeable than myself, they said, well, there may be a different way, there may be a different contractor we can employ. So regardless of the buildings that are there, which of course are important, you wouldn't want to lose shoreline that is a natural asset to Kenosha County. We want to see it washed away. So the idea is, what can we do that would be more cost effective, but perhaps mimic what the city has done and provide a better degree of security for that area than what we have right now. So that's what's being investigated, just to bring you up to speed. Good, thank you for your report. Is there anything else on parks? Go ahead, Supervisor Decker.
How did, the Fox go after,
We,
if you know?
Yeah, I know that they submitted all the permit information, to Wyatt, so I think we're in the process, although we saw that they were maybe operating a little differently this last during Fair Week, so, but I know Wyatt's been in discussions and they submitted their permit.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything further on parks? Ethan Governance, any questions, anything you want to know about parks? Very well, thank you for your report. We move on now to Highway Division of Mr. Gregory Bold.
Yeah, thank you. So just a couple of things. After we had some folks help out with the Centennial Courthouse anniversary event yesterday. So a group of people helped out setting up some barricades and stuff like that. So we were able to help out with that. And then we kind of waited for a first round of adopt the highway signs. Those were delivered and some of them are installed and some of them coming in the next couple of weeks. So you'll start seeing some of the adopt the highway sections being that have been sponsored being noticed for signs. I think there were 6 sections right now, and then, you know, you wait for like an order a little bit. So I think there's another 6. I'll probably order more signs here in the next couple weeks. So that's kind of that. As far as the county crews, we've completed the milling and paving of County Trunk Highway C from 45 to 83. We are currently in the middle of milling and repaving County Trunk Highway B, as in boy, from 50 north to JB. So probably another 2 weeks or so for that, week to 2 weeks for that. And then we've been replacing culverts on County Trunk Highway WG, which is on the south side, right near the Illinois border. Kind of doing that in prior to the bridge replacement that's being scheduled out there by the DOT. And then we are continuing to do some urban mowing and mowing of areas. The state only allows us to mow areas along it adjacent to state roadways if they're not classified as urban, things like Highway 50 once a year. That's done before July 1st, so that's been done. So obviously if there's site issues, we'll go out and do some touch-ups, but there are no mass mowings along state highways, only in those areas. County highways, we will continue to mow, and we probably mow them a little more often than we do the state, because that's what the state allows us and pays us to do. As far as fleet, obviously trucks and that kind of stuff are still hard to come by. We're still on schedule with some of the orders. Again, you order them and then you wait for a year and a half to get them. The biggest issue right now we have is 1-ton trucks. There's 3 of them in the CIP. That order was canceled by the manufacturer because they ran out of the 2025 year due to wheels. So we're working on, are we going to cancel that order? It's canceled. Are we going to try to reorder 2026 models? Are we going to look for inventory that's out there now and just buy trucks that have already been built? So looking at all those options right now, but obviously we need some new trucks. So trying to do that as soon as we can. Outside of that, that's kind of probably the most with the fleet, the biggest issues. The County Trunk Highway C multi-use path that was in Bristol on 120th Avenue on 36th Avenue. That's all been done except for some punch list items that they're working through. And I mentioned the WG Bridge. Again, it was supposed to start today. I'd not been out there, but I heard maybe they went out there today. So, but that is a DOT project. We're involved, but it's kind of manned by the DOT. And then there is one development project, Contract Highway N in 38th Street out by Uline. My understanding is all the underground utilities are done and they're starting to build the road and looking at doing concrete pavement here in the next week or 2. So that one is coming along. Staffing wise, we've made offers to 5 candidates. 3 offers were accepted. We're just confirming start date. They're going through the pre-employment stuff. So what that means is we will have, once the new candidates come on board, we will be short 3 highway patrol, 1 mechanic, 1 civil engineer, and then 1 mechanic fleet inventory specialist. So that is where we are. We did have 1 highway patrol resign and 1 mechanic resign since the last report.
We're good.
That's what we have.
You're making some progress on the, ones that you have pre-accepted offers, so
Yeah,
still, you know, it's kind of a rotating thing. You get some new ones in, but then you have people resign, retire, so.
Yeah.
We get it. Questions or comments from committee members? Supervisor Franklin?
Yeah, thanks. I was heading west on K to come here. There's
Yeah.
a sheriff in the middle of the road,
Yeah.
blocking the road. Is there some sort of work going on or is there
so I
something
guess
else going on?
no work that I'm aware of. There shouldn't be anything. Typically, if a sheriff is
Okay, I
blocking it, then
didn't
it's
think so.
an accident.
Okay,
Typically, if it's our work, we'll set up barricades and that kind of stuff.
yeah,
But
okay.
we don't typically use sheriff as our traffic control.
Because when I had to head north to get to N, and
Yeah.
then I had to head west to 45, and
Yeah.
then I had,
Comes out.
and then when I came past K, there was nothing blocked off or nothing. It's just a lone sheriff right in the middle of the road in his vehicle. Okay.
Nick just saw something on a website here that said due to an overturned dump truck carrying topsoil. So it was an accident.
Okay. Thank you.
So, yeah, we typically, if it's a sheriff there, typically, hopefully,
Yeah, I figured.
we don't want them there doing, I mean, we like to set up our own traffic control. It's a bad thing when they show up on it.
Thanks.
Supervisor Belsky?
How many mechanics do you normally have if you're fully staffed?
6.
6, so you're down 2 and 1 specialist.
We're down 1.
Well, it says 1 resigned. And
And
then
that's-
open position, is that,
That,
does that?
because of
what do you
because
think?
of the resignation, we have the open one.
Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you.
Yes.
That's all.
Supervisor Gray?
I'm going back to mowing, just curious.
Yeah.
So, 'cause I live on both the state highway and the county. highway.
Yeah.
How many times a year do we mow the county,
We try to get up to 2 to 3, depending on.
the rain and all
the
that stuff?
rain.
And just out of curiosity, roughly, how many miles of county roads do we have and how many miles of state roads?
I had this somewhere.
Trick question of the day.
I don't remember.
She wanted 50 state.
I mean, just for,
I thought it was 250. For some reason, I thought it was 250 of both, but I can't.
wow, state,
There's like 250 miles of state that we
Wow.
maintain, yeah.
okay.
I thought it was like 250 and 150, but I
Yeah.
could be.
Still,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
thank you.
I should know this stuff off the top of my head, but you get in the minor details, you don't think about the big stuff.
That's road miles or lane miles?
Road miles, yeah. Lane miles, state would be.
Double.
Yeah, you get it.
Thank you.
Further questions for division? What about salt? Are we thinking about salt already or not?
We've thought about it, but we're not using it. No, yeah, so we order that in April, May, we order it.
Okay,
So we've had, there's some salt that the state delivers to us and puts in our salt shed. There's some salt that goes out to, call it the Circle, it's the area at 152 and I-94. So we've taken some delivery already, and I think we get another delivery sometime in the something like that. But yeah, so I mean, we have plenty of quantity for any salt we're gonna need this week.
so is that one of those things you can piggyback on a state contract and buy at the same rate they do?
So it is a state-led contract, so they let it, and it's by county. And so like, our supplier is actually different than some of the other counties because how close we are to Chicago, I believe we get us from Morton's. And so they can get it from Morton's in Chicago cheaper than say,
Sure.
there's another company, can't think of it off the top of my head, that supplies other portions of the state. And sometimes counties right next to each other, even in the Milwaukee area, can be different by like 10 tons, $10 a ton, which is a huge difference.
Significant.
But ours are pretty fair and pretty reasonable, but yeah, it is all state-led contracts. We do not let it out of.
What else is, copper lead? Is asphalt bid the same way too or not?
No, we do that ourselves. So we go out to bid every year, we send it out to many, but typically there's 2 contractors in the area that bid that. Typically asphalt, you gotta be within radius because it's so hot. You gotta keep it warm and you want to keep it on travel so far.
County KR.
What's that?
Recently done all the way from 45 to Frontage Road. Whose contract was that? Who?
So
Did that.
45, they didn't go, well, that is, Racine County did it. So that is Racine County's, jurisdiction.
So it was nothing having to do with us or?
No,
That was part of the BD 75 becoming County Highway BD.
yeah,
Well, I didn't think they took all of KR. I thought
they
took.
did not. So the state only took from, I-94 to
Right.
Sheridan.
And they renamed
So from
it.
and they cleaned that 195, so from the interstate west continued, but that was always under the maintenance of Racine County,
Okay,
and so it stayed that way.
so comment to the supervisors in the last report that was done thankfully. Turned out nice, whoever did the job.
Yeah, they did with their own crews,
Okay.
so yeah, no, they did a nice job.
Well, good. Thank you for your report. Thank you for updating us with the staffing. It's always interesting for us to know how we're doing as far as retaining and keeping people in position. So again, thank you for your report. Moving on next to Mr. Matt Storino for facilities.
Okay, thank you Supervisor. A couple of updates to the report. First one, the PSB elevator replacement, that actually was completed today. State inspector was in the building and passed the work, so we are good to go and it's operational already. So that one's completed. Just a few punch list items on the building access hardware project. Just a few kind of control site stuff, real minor. So that'll be off the report next month. The Brookside carpet and windowsill replacement project, that happened to catch at your last meeting, you reported that would be finished by the end of this quarter. It's actually a 56-week project. It's Q4 of next year that one's gonna wrap up.
Okay.
We have the requisition out for the elevator. That's a new one to this. We came in under budget on that. During the walkthrough, we found some as-built drawings, a little bit of research. We found that the whole jack shaft does not need to be replaced. We'll have to go a few feet in the ground, so we're able to save some money on that project.
So is that currently functioning or is that offline until it gets replaced?
It's offline until it gets replaced. And that's the service elevator that goes off the back office in between
Right.
highways and public works. Fades. We're still in the pre-bid process of the other ones. Construction for PSB just started this week. And for staffing updates, we have a first shift open position at the job center and a second shift open position at the PSB. Both custodian and then a second shift maintenance position at Brookside. Any questions? We'll be happy to take them.
Supervisor Sabelski.
When do you think you're gonna start Brookside's kitchen floor?
So that,
I know the bids are due the 27th.
yeah, so once bids are due, we'll I think we have 2 weeks in there to award, and then the plan is to get that done before winter
Mhm.
would be ideal. So we're thinking October into November. Get
Okay,
them-
because Kemper's dishwasher just broke, so I wanted to
Okay.
make sure that it got repaired before they potentially
Yeah.
used it.
So I think Kemper's gonna be kind of a last resort. We're gonna
Okay.
bring most stuff in-house, but if it gets to the point where we need to use a piece of equipment, that's when they'll run there.
So we're looking at October.
Yeah.
So we'll be fixed before, well, before then. Okay, great.
You bet.
And that would be how long a project for Brookside kitchen floor? It would take one amount of time to do it.
That's a fairly quick project. It should be done in about a month. The biggest part about that is removing all the kitchen equipment, having to store it, do the work, and then reinstall all the kitchen equipment.
Yeah, so you talked about there'd be some disruption in terms of food service and you'd have to find out auxiliary planning, maybe not quite as many hot meals and that type of thing. Is that right?
Correct, yeah, modified food diet for the residents, sandwiches, a lot of cereal, stuff like that. And then they do have the country kitchens. When they did the remodel in 16, they have these small country kitchens, so they can do some cooking at a capacity, but not as much as a big personal kitchen.
So his notification started with Brookside administration to the residents and their families that this is an ongoing thing and it's going to be coming down the line, or is that not done yet? Do we know?
I don't know if there's been an official announcement. I know that Life Enrichment has been involved with administration in that, so I can confirm with Linda.
Yeah, I think it'd be good just to let us know, what the communications be, because as early as we can alert the residents and, without upsetting them or causing negative feedback, and especially the families, so they know as well. I mean, that's a essential ingredient.
Absolutely.
Any questions for Mr. Storino? Seeing none, thank you for your report. Appreciate it. Facilities, special projects, Mr. Martinelli.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The report is pretty much as is, just one update for the KCC backup generator, which you can see right through the window. We actually are gonna put it in service tomorrow. We're getting a tech that specializes in the communication system, the monitoring system to set it up and put it in service. So instead of today, that's scheduled for tomorrow to get the tech with that knowledge. It's a multi-step process because of the way this building is wired. Before, the backup generator only did life safety, like with the lighting and then the computers and just a few outlets here and there. Now this one will back up the whole building. So once we put this one in service, then we have to lock out the old transfer switch. We'll have a shutdown much shorter. We had a 8-hour shutdown on a weekend a month ago for the main service. And then after we get that shutdown down, that'll be between 2 and 4 hours. We coordinate that with everybody, IT, the sheriff's department, you name it. Fun fact, all of the internet for the whole county comes into this building and from this building goes out. So they have a backup that they have to put in place when this building loses power. So.
For the entire county?
Yes. Yeah, but for all through fiber optic, of course, but this is the main coming in here. And they do have a backup coming through another building, for example, Brookside's 24/7. The PSB is 24/7. So. But anyway, so we coordinate that all and then after that, then the radio tower, which right now is on a different feed that's less reliable and has a separate generator, then that'll be the last step. We'll take that off that line and hook it in with the main power from the building here and be backed up by this generator, and that the power feed is much more stable.
Okay. So that's anticipated to be done tomorrow.
This main generator to be online to back up the whole building will be tomorrow.
Okay.
Once we get that done, then once that's all, it's already been tested, we had the generator tested, the transfer switch tested and everything.
Right.
We had to wait till it was shipped without battery chargers, which I maintain the batteries so that when we need it.
What were they thinking?
Yes, yeah, and one of the e-stops was broken, so they tested all, we got the parts, we're supposed to install them tomorrow and the monitoring, and then we can put that one in service, back up the whole building.
Okay.
Lock out the other one, then we're gonna have to do another shutdown because the transfer switch
Sure.
is for the old one, that'll be 2 to 4 hours, and after that's done, then we'll do the radio tower.
But this wouldn't have been much use of having batteries to actually start the generator if necessary. So,
It is a good thing to have battery chargers.
if you wouldn't mind, please shoot me an email when this is all buttoned up, it's all transferred and so forth. And related to this, we are a growing county. We see our need for services expanding and so forth. So we talk about having additional, services provided out of this building, maybe utilizing the second floor, maybe expansion of different areas. If you don't know right now, you don't have to comment, but just in terms of how this is built, what amount of excess capacity you may have to look to the future, that if the power did go out, that it could have X amount of ability to provide more if needed. So
It's just about 20% bigger.
yeah, that's good. And that's heartening, I think, to know, because it seems like there's always need for more power.
Absolutely.
Good. Anything else, Mr. Martinelli?
No, that's it.
Questions, comments? Youth and governance, burning question for Mr. Martinelli? Or come on, you can make one up. Very well, and thank you for your report, and we'll speak again next month. Director Billingsley, it's your turn.
Yes, I have a resolution authorizing the We Energies permanent distribution easement near 290th Avenue and 112th Street in the village of Salmon Lakes. This is a new home going in and they need electric power. The only connection point is a pole that is in a site that is owned by Kenosha County. So they just need an easement from the road right away to connect to the pole. So that is what this easement allows these homeowners to build and get electric power. So staff is recommending approval.
And this is new construction?
New construction.
Second,
Second.
further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes. Thank you for your support.
Human Services relocation and renovation, we are still on schedule for July. We did update some of the percentages complete. You're gonna see that some of the zones, interior zones have increased in percentage. And they have been working on the exterior masonry. So if you do drive by, you're gonna see some brick, some veneers going up, but a lot of work is happening inside. We are scheduling another tour. I sent out an email. I think it's the 18th, if I remember right. So if you're able to, that'll be, I believe I have it at 3. But if you need to read another email, just let me know.
What day was it?
18th at 3.
What day of the week does that fall on?
Thursday.
Thursday. Keenan's been treated.
Yes, Thursday, this 18th at 3.
Thank you.
So from your perspective with the new construction for Human Services building, on time, on budget, ahead, behind, what?
We're still in the July with their prediction right now, so we're right on schedule and we're still within budget, so. And a lot of the interior issues are dwindling now that we're out of the ground. Interior's pretty well set, so we should be hopefully sailing along.
So from a logistical standpoint, will there be much actual physical transfer from the old job center to the new job center?
Yes,
Or will
there's
it be
still gonna,
basically new fixturing and there won't be that much smooth?
there's gonna be new desks, new furniture.
Right.
But file cabinets will still be moved, boxes will still be moved. We are working and have a transition plan we're doing right now with the help of Human Services. So they've identified, for example, what office A in the job center is gonna go to office Z
Sure.
in Human Services. So we already have that down pat, so the furniture organizer and the movers will be able to do a lot of that coordination. So we're working on that now. We have a whole schedule of items, I know, between Matt and Human Services, help with IT. So we're trying to put all those pieces to the puzzle
So
together.
most computers, most business machines, do those move or stay?
Yes, those are moving.
Okay. So it's really got to be quite a logistical thing to figure out how to do it in a relatively, who's the head of that, whose baby is that?
We are, myself, Matt Serino, and
It's a
really
team.
Rebecca
It's a
and
team.
John are kind of on that with us, yes. And IT's involved too, because they're gonna be doing the computer system on what needs to go when. So logistically, there might be a week or so that some people may be working from home just to get logistically moved around, but we're trying to do it in phases, so. We hopefully will have that buttoned up well in advance of move date.
And it does seem to be better that it would be in a fair weather part of the season as opposed to, winter
A
time.
little drier, a little, yes. a little
Hopefully.
nicer.
Good. Thank you for your report. Any further questions for our directors of public works?
Motion to adjourn?
Yes, motion to adjourn.
Second.
1, 2, All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Youth and governance, how do you vote on this one? Please say aye.
Aye.
Stand adjourned. Thank you.